We got one! Yes. And by that I mean we finally got a good remake on this Remake-A-Thon. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Take a look at the ones we've done so far. Planet of the Apes. Crap. Guess Who? It's okay. Dr. Dolittle. It's okay. Nutty Professor. Crap. That's all we've had. Okay and crap. Nothing has gone above middle of the road for any of these. And I was starting to wonder, is there going to be any of them? Any of them that I could do that I could say is pretty good. And you know what? We got one. Yes. So, Footloose is the remake of the 1984 movie Footloose, starring Kevin Bacon. And this one stars Kenny Wormald as the main character of Rand McCormick, just like in the original. And I could tell you practically nothing about this guy's filmography. I haven't heard of him before or since at all. He's just here. Now, I have watched part of this before. Yes, I watched this. I got this movie before I got the original. And because the original a VHS? No, Dirty Dancing. Well, I have the original somewhere. But that after this, and I seen part of it, and then I fell asleep watching it. I remember I got to the "Let's Hear It for the Boy" part, and I fell asleep. I never finished it. And it is one of those that is pretty much shot for shot, with some things are changed a little bit here and there. A little bit, like the music, for one thing. They use a couple of songs. Like they use "Holding On for a Hero," but it's a slowed down country twanged version. They use "Let's Hear It for the Boy," and they use two different versions of Footloose, which is confusing. But most of it is a little bit different. And there's, it's more modernized for 2011 over the 1980s aesthetic. They changed Ren. Now has lost both his parents instead of just his father. He has no mother. His mother just recently passed away, so he's gone to live with his aunt and uncle, or step-uncle, whatever, and their two daughters. They also were smart, and they got people who knew how to dance to be in this movie. Both Kenny Wormald and Julianne Hough, Chris Stuckman. I'm sure by now, when he did that review back, 12, 13 years ago, when he did that review, he didn't know who Julianne Hough was. He probably didn't watch Dancing with the Stars, but she's known. Okay, it's Huff. He's like ho, how, Hugh, Huff. GH makes the f sound when it's paired with a O and a U, like cough. Think of it. It's cough without the C. Take cough, put an H in front. Take the C out, put the H in front of it. Huff, 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 huff. It's cough, huff. It's the same thing. Okay, close enough. Yeah, and she was known for Dancing with the Stars before this. After this, she's in one of my favorite musicals, Rock of Ages, which is a good movie. And she's good in this. I think this was one of her first acting. I think she had a movie before this, and then this. She was like the Kevin Bacon, because Kevin Bacon had one movie before this, and now he's doing this, because he did Friday the 13th before that, and then, yeah. I want to say maybe he did a couple more after. That was 1980, and this is 84. That was 84, But it follows the same structure. Group of kids go out partying, end up in a car crash in the city for some damn reason, pass a law where no music and dancing is allowed. Oh, I guess you can listen to music, but you can't dance to it because it's confusing on the law, because Okay, so we have the Chris Penn character Willard, who can't dance. And we get to the sequence with the Let's Hear It for the Boy. And the two cousins, the two little girl cousins, are teaching him how to dance. In the original, they had to do it in secret. He put the headphones on, and he was teaching them to dance through the hallways when the school's out and everything. Here, it's open with music playing, and I'm like, why is no one... Is it okay to do this in the yard, I guess? I don't know. I'm also still very confused because they say that no dancing under the age of 18. But they won't allow the seniors to have a prom. By the time it's close to prom, most seniors are of the age of 18. So, wouldn't it make sense if you could have the dance, a school dance, a prom? If you're 18 years old, you can go to the prom. Now, that might cause problems because if you are dating someone, you're the same age, like say you're both 17 and you turn 18, like, you know, there and around that time, but they're not going to be 18 till after school's over, that could be an issue. I don't know, but everyone here is over 20 anyway, so the actors anyway. I was, you know, it's one of those things, you go back, you watch a movie, and I don't know, he was in there. Miles Teller plays Willard in this, and then you got the character of Woody. I don't remember if there was a version of him in the original, but here it's played by Cedarius Blaine. Cedarius Blaine, Fridge from the Jumanji movies, the two newer ones. Yeah, the one that turns into Kevin Hart. Can't go to water with backpack, everybody know that. Fridge, yeah. But, and then you have not Chad Michael Murray as Ariel's boyfriend. Yeah, at first I was like, Chad Michael, now he'd have been like too old in 2011. He was playing teenagers in the mid-2000s. And you tell me 2011, no, it's not him. It's some guy who looks like him. And I bet he was hired. Hey, he looks like Chad Michael Murray. Hire him. I bet you that was the reason why I got hired, because he looks like Chad Michael Murray, because he has that look about him. You know what I mean? But he plays Ariel's current boyfriend, who's a race car driver. So dirt races are allowed, but no dancing. No dancing music. No. Much like in the original, Ren soups up a Volkswagen, but instead of 80s music playing, it's some weird current 2011 rap stuff or whatever, hip hop, I guess you would call it. You know, there is a difference, by the way. You can dance to all hip hop, but you can't dance to all rap. There's the difference. Hip hop always has a group you can dance to, but not all rap songs do. Well, this is Eminem. A lot of his songs, even some of the slower ones like Mockingbird, you dance to a little bit, you know, do a little bit. Now, little baby, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be alright. I can't do the words off the top of my head, but again, Eminem is rap, not hip hop, but a lot of hip hop songs. You get the hip hop flow going, you can dance with pretty much all of them. Whereas rap, there's some you can't. But anyway, it's some kind of thing. He gets in trouble. By the way, he's being taken to court. He's under the age of 18, right? That's the whole thing. Can they send kids under the age of 18 to court? Right? In the role of Reverend Moore, we have Dennis Quaid. And for a role like this, the original was John Lithgow. So here you need someone who's stern. John Lithgow has never been... I could never take him seriously, mostly because I know him as from Third Rock from the Sun. You know, he's the villain in Cliffhanger, and I just went... You know, because there was a time I guess he could be taken seriously, but once he became thick, it's like, no, can't take him seriously anymore, and he's just the goofy guy, you know. Although I thought he was pretty good as Judd in the Pet Sematary remake, which is not a good movie, but still, you know. But you need someone. For this kind of a character, you need someone who is stern, but can show emotion when needed. And Dennis Quaid is great. He's shown in movies like The Intruder that he can play this very dark kind of character. And he's not. The Reverend Moore is not really a villain. He's more of an antagonist. And I always say that there's a difference. Antagonists are those who sort of act mean but aren't right out evil, whereas villains, they're just evil from the start. He has well-meaned intentions. But I still think a rule to outlaw dancing and singing, and stupid-ass rule. Stupid original, stupid here. You know, there's a scene that really kind of puts all this acting together, and it's a scene. Actor Lori Singer was the original actress who played Ariel. Ariel gets beat up by her boyfriend because she breaks up with him. Which, by the way, I thought they'd already broken up. But, because she's, going around with Ren for a little while before she breaks it off with him. So she breaks it off with him. He gets pissed. And then she throws something at him, which prompts him, not prompts him, in his mind it prompts him to hit her. So when he shows up, of course, Reverend Moore thinks that it was Ren. Because in his messed up mind, he thinks, so his whole stance on this is that, because he starts noticing what his daughter is doing after Ren has shown up, he thinks Ren is directly responsible for everything that has happened since he arrived in town. The problem is, that's not what's happening at all. He's merely just come to the town and adapted to the teenage scene, where everyone else has already been doing this underneath their watch without them knowing. But because he's noticing it now, he's blaming Ren. And, I have an issue with this scene because it's one of those things where we need him to keep hating Ren so he can't come right out and say something, say the truth here, but, they have an argument where she's like, oh, yeah, everything that happens, it's all Ren's fault. Just like before, it was all Bobby's fault. And he's like, what? Yeah, you one bad thing happens, you're going to blame it on one person. What are you going to blame it on now? She goes, well, I lost my virginity. You're going to outlaw that now? Well, in this stupid-ass world, they could. They outlaw dancing and outlaw sex, but then it means no children. Right? Unless, I guess, if you're over 18 or 21, right? That could be the rule. I guess for sex 21, I don't know. But, when he accuses Ren of doing this, she never says, no, it wasn't him. She just fights it. She never says, it was my ex-boyfriend, as I broke up with him and he didn't like that, so he hit me. No, she never says all that. She just gets an argument with him. He smacks her, which is in direct contradiction of what he was trying to say, and then she runs off. And then Andy McDowell's character, the mom Fi, she yells at him. It's acted good. It's a very good acted scene. But the fact that she never confirms or denies either way that it wasn't Ren or that it was Ren, she never stands up. She never says, no, it was my ex-boyfriend. Nothing. Because we still need him to hate on Ren. And so, the music. Let's talk about the music. So like I said, we get the Let's Hear It for the Boy montage. But they do it interesting here where it starts out, like I said, with the little girl cousins teaching him how to dance. Yeah, because you want to learn from 2 8-year-olds how to dance. That's good work. But it then transitions, the music, it does thing where the music is playing for them, which is contradictory to anything in the town's laws about music playing. Because, Ren gets a ticket just for playing music on his radio very loud. And this is loud music. Yet, nothing. And that transitions to playing over the scenes as they teach them how to dance and stuff. And so that there's that. But you also have the scene, they recreate the scene. Never, never, never. That scene where he's running through the warehouse doing all that stuff. And they brought back other songs, you know, to do this. They got Holding Out for a Hero, which they play as the country twang version, and that's fine, but they brought it back. They could put a completely different song here. It's more country-ish, because this is more country-like. More, you know, more country-like, you know, than the original was all 80s and pop music, and this is more country down. Which is why you have the Blake Shelton version of Footloose. By the way, beginning of this, they play the Kenny Loggins version, and then at the end of this, they play the Blake Shelton version, and I'm confused because that original version was playing at the beginning of this movie when the crash happened, and they're going to play another version of that same song where the characters died. Maybe that song wasn't diegetic. It wasn't actually playing on the... but it looked like it was. And in this version, it looked like it was at the dance, where the original looks like it's just like an opening credits thing with dancing feet. They do that here, but they make it known that it's people at a dance. It's teens at a dance, where, you know. Yeah. They also... what else? They also changed where Ren is from. Originally he's from Chicago. I'm not sure that's where Kevin Bacon was from, but originally Chicago. Here, because Kenny Wormald is from Boston, Ren is from Boston. And I don't know how much of his Boston accent was augmented, like they had him go a little bit more over, or if he really talked like that. But he sounds like Diet Mark Wahlberg. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for him to go, come on, we gotta go get Ted. We gotta go to Wahlburgers. We gotta get out of here. Come on, the Transformers are coming. I gotta get my Bud Light. We gotta go. Come on. We gotta get out of here. The plants are gonna attack us. What? No. You know, I was just waiting, because it's very subdued Mark Wahlberg. It's just, you know. And maybe he talks like that in real life. Or maybe he talks a little bit like that, and they have him exaggerate a little bit because it wouldn't be more Boston. But he's from Boston. He comes to bumfuck, you know. But my biggest problem with this, okay, so it's pretty much shot for shot with some changes. And if you're going to change it, do some decent changes. There's some changes in here that are different, like, you know. But there's some changes that will work. Like, if being from Boston, obviously with the actor, you got to change that. Maybe he did have that accent, I don't know. And then, you know, you have actual dancers. I'm not a big fan of the warehouse dance scene because it doesn't work as well as the original. But the biggest thing that I think they could have changed, I don't remember if I said this in my original review, but my big problem with the original was that the law doesn't get overturned. They go through this whole thing, he stands up, he goes to court, and he goes out and he just, you know, throws out a bunch of Bible verses. I don't know if that's in the original one, but it's in this one. And he makes a stand for abolishing the law. In the original, all the adults just agree to dismiss it, and they don't even talk about it, and there's no, you know, the law's not abolished, they keep it, they just dismiss his case and move on, and then they have the dance at the place where Ren works for Andy, you know, and because it's technically over state lines, over the town lines, so it wouldn't be illegal, you know. And they do pretty much the exact same thing, but they lay out that the Reverend Moore had all the votes in his pocket. So, what does that mean? He had the votes literally in his pocket, or was it all set up? I don't know. So it doesn't matter, and they don't get it. Why didn't they overturn the law? You think... Especially, both movies do this. They emphasize that nobody likes this stupid law. The teens are fighting against it. Even some of the adults are kind of, you know, iffy on the whole situation. They don't like it. Even in the opening scene, there's some confusion and confliction about it. You know, the Reverend's wife even stands up and says, "Let Mr. McCormick talk," because everyone's about to dismiss him again. And he puts out a bunch of the Bible verses and, you know, throws it through, and they still just ignore it, you know? So, this would have fixed the one big problem with the original if they overturned the law. Because in a story structure like this, when we starts with making the law and doing it, and he comes here and he makes a change, the big thing at the end should be that the law is abolished. But they still didn't do it. It's confusing. I understand you want to stick to the structure of the original, but if you're going to make changes, this is the one big change you should make. Have them abolish the law. It just makes no sense to keep going. And how does it end? Right? We got a fight showdown with Chuck. That's the boyfriend, shows up with his buddies. And this is where I realized that, so there's a scene earlier where Ren is in the library and this dude walks up and offers him, to go smoke a joint. He says, no, I don't want to. And he hands him one, which gets him in trouble. He flushes it down the toilet, but he still gets in trouble and doesn't sell the guy out. They're like, they saw you was with this guy. And he won't admit that. I'm like, why won't you just say that it's him? And then it's revealed here that this guy who had him the weed was one of Chuck's friends trying to get him in trouble. And I went, well, if that's the case, why didn't he rat him out? I don't get it. I don't get it. But there's a fight, and it's also confusing because you have Ren fighting. And we'll start with Willard and his girlfriend arriving late, much like in the original. And then Chuck comes out with his buddies, and they start fighting Willard. And he yells for Ren. Ren and Julianne Hough, Ariel, come out. Ariel fights in this one. I don't think she did in the original. But my problem is, the scene before this showed you have the entire offensive line of your football team in that warehouse. Motherfucker, call them out. Think about this. They think they're doing good. They're kicking ass. They got a girl. They got Miles Teller, and they got Ren, and they got the advantage. And all of a sudden, here comes Sedarius Blaine with the football team. Yeah, come on. But no, it ends when Andy comes out, the Ren's boss, punches the guy. Now get in there and start dancing. And I'm just like, they just took care of them themselves. But you got the whole offensive line in that place, and you can't have these big-ass football players come out and help? Now, if this was made now, they would have had Ariel kick all their asses by herself, because she's a strong female lead. Proving her, Willard's girlfriend, and Sedarius Blaine's girlfriend in this, the three of them would have beat him up, because that's the way they do it nowadays. I'm just saying, hey, you gotta admit I'm right on this, right? But then they do the Footloose dance to the Blake Shelton version, which was all over the radio, and the CMT and then music video stuff everywhere. They played this music video, It was a good song in the 80s, and it's a good song now, that version. And whoa, just, yeah. But, like I said, this movie, pretty good. And it's a damn good remake. I don't think it's better than the original, far from it. But, I think if you're going to remake a movie, the only issue I have is that they didn't abolish the law, which is the one big change I would have made. But the law gets abolished. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty decent remake. Yes, shot for shot, sure. But it works. Now, up next, so what are your thoughts on Footloose? Let me know comments. So much like, share, and subscribe. Either one. Just let me know comments on either one. But up next, we're going to look at another remake of an 80s film, an 80s classic, that I wasn't too fond of the original. But I said before that I liked the remake, so we shall see how this one sits. Till then, thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.